Most men will never need more than 5 exercises, not because training can't be more complex, it can, but because complexity is what's killing your progress. Here are the 5 movements that cover your entire body, why they work, and how to get genuinely strong at each one. Here's something almost nobody in fitness talks about. The reason most men don't get results isn't a lack of equipment or a lack of information. There has never been more fitness information available in human history than right now. You could spend the rest of your life reading workout programs and never run out. And yet, obesity rates are climbing. Men are physically weaker than their fathers. Chronic back pain is at an all-time high. So if information isn't the problem, what is? Complexity. The modern fitness industry profits from keeping you confused. Always a new method to try, a new split to follow, a new piece of equipment you supposedly can't train without. The result is most men spend years switching programs every few weeks, never getting strong at anything. What actually works is the opposite, a simple framework, executed consistently with a clear progression to follow. The Spartans didn't have that problem. Their training was ruthlessly simple and ruthlessly effective, and it was built on the same 5 movement patterns that have been developing powerful, functional bodies for thousands of years. Here they are. The first movement is the vertical pull, and it comes with a fact that most people find genuinely hard to believe. Ancient Greek athletes competing in the original Olympics trained extensively with pulling movements, climbing ropes, scaling walls, lifting their own body weight in various ways. This wasn't optional conditioning, it was considered foundational. The Greeks understood something modern exercise science only confirmed in the last 30 years. Pulling strength is the single best predictor of upper body health and longevity. The pull-up is the most efficient expression of that pattern. Back, biceps, grip, core, all working simultaneously, the way your body was designed to move. But here's where most people wreck themselves from day one. Starting too hard. Swinging through half reps with terrible form doesn't build muscle. It builds bad habits and destroys elbows and shoulders. If 5 clean, full range of motion reps isn't possible yet, start with assisted variations. Feet lightly on the floor, taking some of the load, and build the pattern properly. 15 clean reps at each stage before advancing. Once 15 solid bodyweight pull-ups are achievable, that's when it gets interesting. Add weight, a vest, a backpack, a dumbbell between the feet. Progressive overload works exactly the same whether the training is happening in a garage or a $200 a month gym. The bar doesn't know the difference and your muscles don't either. If pull-ups are the king of upper body pulling, the obvious assumption is that the bench press is the king of upper body pushing. That's exactly what the fitness industry wants you to think. Here's the reality. A loaded push-up is more demanding than a bench press, and it can be proven in one sentence. There is zero core demand on a bench press. You're lying on a padded surface with the weight stabilized above you. A loaded push-up forces the entire body to maintain tension simultaneously. There is nowhere to hide weakness. Ancient Greek wrestlers trained pressing movements on the ground as a cornerstone of physical preparation. Roman soldiers performed bodyweight pushing drills as standard conditioning. The movement is not primitive. Most people's execution of it is. Master 20 clean reps first. The chest should touch the ground in every single rep. Elbows should track back and not flare wide. Then add load. It doesn't have to be much to begin with, but you should strive for 30, 40, or even 50 kilograms of added weight. Because in what world would a person who can do multiple clean push-ups with 50 kilograms of added weight have a small chest? You can add chest dips alongside this, and the entire chest and triceps are covered, with no equipment and no gym required. Why did every ancient culture that idealized the male physique, Greeks, Romans, Norse mythology, depict heroes with wide, powerful shoulders? It wasn't an aesthetic preference, maybe for the women, but broad shoulders historically signaled one thing: the capacity to fight, carry, and build. Shoulders that could drive a spear overhead, haul cargo onto a ship, and hold a shield for hours in combat. The fastest way to build them is the same now as it was then. Push heavy weight overhead. Without equipment, the target is the handstand push-up. The path there runs through progressions. Pike push-ups with bent knees first, then straight leg pike push-ups, then feet elevated on a chair to steepen the angle. 15 clean reps at each stage before moving forward. Each step is harder than it looks. With a barbell or dumbbells, the standing overhead press is the most powerful option. Not seated, standing. Standing forces the entire kinetic chain to stabilize the load. Legs, core, and back all working to keep the body upright while the deltoids contract. That carryover to real-world strength is something no seated machine can replicate. 3 movements down. The next 2 are the ones most people either skip entirely or perform so half-heartedly they may as well not bother. They also happen to be the two most directly responsible for chronic injury, postural breakdown, and looking underdeveloped from the waist down. So pay attention. Most men who train without a gym have underdeveloped legs. Not because the training doesn't work, it does, but because most either skip legs entirely or treat 20 easy squats as a complete session. What nobody mentions when it comes to skipping leg training is why. Deep down we all know why, but we don't talk about it. It's because it's hard, not just physically but mentally. Building a great physique is all fun until it becomes mentally hard. The fact that we see so few men training legs shows us that most men don't have the mental resilience for it. Your legs are half your body. The training needs to reflect that. Bulgarian split squats are the most effective bodyweight leg movement available. One leg at a time, rear foot elevated, controlled descent to full depth. 15 reps per leg with 50 kilograms of added load will produce legs that don't look neglected. Start with body weight if 20 clean squats with good depth isn't yet possible. Build the movement quality first, then add load progressively. That principle never changes. The fifth movement is the most neglected on this list and arguably the most consequential. Lower back pain is the leading cause of disability worldwide. It affects more people than heart disease, cancer, or diabetes in terms of quality of life impact. The medical consensus on the primary cause is consistent: weakness and dysfunction in the posterior chain. The human body stopped moving the way it was built to move, and backs across the world are the evidence. Historical laborers, farmers, blacksmiths, dock workers, soldiers developed powerful posterior chains without any deliberate training. Loading carts, lifting heavy objects, hauling cargo, every one of those tasks is a hip hinge. Their daily work was programming the exact pattern the body requires. Chronic lower back problems were not the epidemic they are now. The Romanian deadlift replicates that pattern deliberately. Hamstrings, glutes, and the full posterior chain trained through the precise movement the spine was designed to handle under load. One distinction matters more than any other here. This is not a back exercise, it is a hip exercise. The spine stays neutral. The load travels through the hips. Understand that, and this movement becomes one of the safest and most productive things in any training program. Start with whatever weight allows a perfectly neutral spine. 5 movements: a vertical pull, a horizontal push, an overhead press, a single leg squat pattern, and a hip hinge. Every major muscle group, every fundamental movement pattern, everything the human body was built to do. Here's the insight that most people miss even after they accept the framework. The warriors throughout history who built extraordinary physiques weren't special because of their genetics or their environment or some secret the modern world has lost. They were the product of a simple principle applied without interruption over long periods of time. Hard things done repeatedly with consistent forward progression. That's it. The fitness industry's entire business model depends on you never believing that. You don't need a $400 supplement stack. You need 5 movements, a way to keep adding difficulty, and enough patience to let time do what it does. My No Gym Warrior program in the description is built on exactly that. 12 weeks, 5 movement patterns, progressive overload mapped out week by week, so the only decision is showing up. If that's what's been missing, it's there if you want it. Get strong at these 5 things. Everything else is noise. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more of my videos to pop up on your home feed. See you in the next one.